There are very few things in life which shackle us in a pursuit of happiness, and they are anger and fear. The sense of defeat, anxiety, anxiousness, depression, sorrow, failure all stem from these two monsters. If you haven't watched my vlogs on fear and anger yet, please do. It'll help you bring in a perspective to what I'm trying to discuss now, because this is a little complex one, because we are going to understand three aspects which are in the realm of goodness and positivity, but have such high negative potency in them that when activated could destroy sense of joy, life, or even experiencing anything sensible in life. There's a lot to unpack. Stay with me. The first one of these three aspects is belief. Believe it or not, it's belief. Belief sounds so good, it sounds so positive. But let's see the other face of it. And what does belief mean? It simply means that you're accepting something or someone without information, or with less information, or with lack of information. It is an acknowledgement irrespective of rationality or reasoning. It is a state of mind which feeds you or makes you feel good by accepting something which you don't completely know. That is belief. There is something wrong in what I'm saying right now, if you understand belief. And that is, how can you accept something as good, true, or even godly, because the reference of belief falls in terms of godliness, as true? Because it crosses the realm of your understanding, and anything which you think crosses your realm of understanding, it's easy for it to become a belief. So belief at its fundamental core has the power to override the fundamentals of what we understand as rationality and logic. It fills a gap which has vacuum and jumps over it on the other side to give you an impression that you understood in a holistic manner. Instead of questioning it, we go ahead and believe it. So there is no rationale to our belief. So belief is a state of mind. It's not even a feeling. So when belief gets checked, or when you have some belief and you get checked, what do you think you're going to do? Insist on the belief? Or to resist what that is attacking your belief? Or would you change? So belief at its core is acceptance of what you don't understand. But you feel good about it, and that's why you buy into it. That's a dangerous place to be in. Because each one of us are never complete. We actually die incomplete. We try to know as much as we can, And many don't even try, but whoever does, even then they don't complete their lives having known everything. So we are in the learning stage at every given point in time, minute, hours, days, years, you name it, decades. So to believe in something which we don't understand, but accepting that and going ahead in life will sooner or later gets us into a place where we are going to hit a wall. Because we are guided by a force or a state of mind which has holes in its logic. There is no logic in it. So let's say that I believe in certain aspects of religion, that's where it lies mostly, or a person, or a situation. I believe this situation is going to be good for me. Now, when you say I believe, you want the end side of the situation. You see something good on the other side of the situation which you want to possess or experience. To get to that, you jump over not understanding the intermediary part. That's where the logic takes a beating. There's no more reasoning in it. So once you believe it, it's easy for you to jump on the other side. And when you jump on the other side, you're left yourself open to whatever is coming your way, just to get to a sense of achievement. Because most of us, when we believe in something, there is a sense of achievement which is on the other side, which is calling us, and that connects with us for whatever reason that could be. Maybe for ignorance or the lack of information, or it could be really a good thing. Because a belief which stems out of reasoning logic is confidence. If you look at confidence, it is nothing but belief. But belief, as in the nature of belief as you and I express in today's world, and when we complain, or let's say, and we question people that I believed in you. And the belief word only comes in when things go wrong, not when things are going right. When things are going right, they're just part of your system. But when they go wrong, the first thing we see is, I believed in you. Why did this go wrong? I believed in the situation. How did this go wrong? I believed in this concept. How come the results aren't the way I expect them to be? So, what is that which is missing in your understanding of belief? And that is logic and reasoning. And when this actually go wrong, they can bring in really strong negative emotions inside you. Mind you, belief is not an emotional construct. Belief is a state of mind. But when that gets broken or gets shattered, it has the potency of bringing in very high negative emotions inside you. Now, it could be because of resisting the change, that is a belief, that you don't want to change your belief. That could be one aspect of it, wherein you can bring in a lot of anger and anxiety. Because belief in one aspect clearly states that there is no change. It's a hard line set on stone. I've already accepted it. So anything that questions belief, anyone who questions my belief is by default my enemy. So that's why the potency of belief without reasoning or logic in some aspects could be even more dangerous than anger and fear. This belief or the sense of acceptance, when broken, can break you. It can break your soul. It can leave such a big scar on your soul that you might not have the strength to enjoy life from here on. Or it might take you a very long time to enjoy anything that's naturally good. So belief is very dangerous to a rational mind, to a sensible person. Because if the belief keeps changing as you reason it out, now that's confidence, that's understanding, and you're making your choices. But belief, in the nature of belief as you and I use in our normal days, has this very sharp edge which can slice you in half before you even know it. So stay away from belief. Question everything which you don't understand. If you do, try to know it more. If you don't, question it. Don't go against it. Because when you go and check something, as in you're going against it, it might come back to you really hard. But when you check it, when you reason it, when you see if there's a logic or not, and all that comes out of what? Of what information you have within you. A person with more information, a person with good experience, a person who is rational, is not somebody who falls in trap of belief. Because everything he accepts has to be something he understands, or she understands, or they understand. And that's one. And the next guy is elder brother of this belief, or elder sister of this belief, or whatever you want to call it, is trust. It is a conclusive acceptance of familiarity or consistency. So what do we trust? Whom do we trust? So trust stems out of an expectation which is concrete in nature. Now, we might know somebody about their past and how they're going about things, and we expect them to be in line of that in future. So we use the word trust, and we rely on trust a lot to possess something which could be dear, which could be important, or which is very essential. So we are placing ourselves in the future on the performance of this person, a situation, or an experience. So looking at the familiarity, looking at the consistency, we think, now this goes beyond think. Here we accept it, we buy into it, we give it the pass to be what we think it should be in the future. Not just a near one, as far as it's alive, or as far as you can see it, as far as it exists in your life. Now, that's how we understand trust. So when we place trust on someone, or we trust some situation, or we trust an experience, what are we gaining out of it? What is the end game for us? The trust simply means that you know the end game now, looking at the past experience or the commitment provided by you. It could be verbal, or it could be some part of deeds or some part of experience which has come by, which helps you buy in the situation, a commitment, or a person for the future. So you are buying in an assumed future now. That's how I can define trust. So trust is that experience wherein you are letting yourself be bought what is close to you or what you would like to have and stay the way you expect it to be in the future. That is trust. How far? God knows. Now, trust is a very tricky thing. You can trust an equipment to work for a long time. You can trust a system to work for whatever time it is verified or guaranteed for. But how would you do that with the two most important aspects of our lives? People, situations. Both change. We change as times go by. We might not learn more or learn less, or you might even learn very much, or experience less, more, not much. Situations are dynamic. They are not can be. That's reality. Things keep changing as we step into time. So when these things are changing fast and furious, I see nothing but dynamics here. And trust and dynamics don't go together. Dynamics is a continuous change, and you cannot control change. Nobody controls change. If there is an anticipation, that's a different thing. But when you use the word trust, we use it in only two situations largely, to a person or to a situation. When we use it to a person, it's more so on a relationship. It could be a personal one or it could be a professional one, like partnerships and businesses. We trust to do business in good faith. Maybe because we know, and when you're shaking hands with somebody on a business level, you do your homework to some extent. And that's why the agreements are made. So to enforce trust. So trust is an advanced state of belief where you expect the consistency and familiarity to be there in the future as you see it now, or which you would seek to have it for the rest of your whatever tenure of that relationship is. So do you call that trust? No, it's consistency. It's being committed. Trust only comes in picture when it is broken. Now, let's look at human beings. We change. And how do we change? We change depending on our emotions, our aspirations, our desires, and our challenges. And none of these are in our hands largely. Some can, some do, some are wise, some are grounded, some are very conscious. But I am speaking at large. Most of us don't. Because there's another aspect of life, which is situations or reality, or what we term as life, which keeps changing. If you're not conscious, reality changes, or the way we understand reality changes. If you're not smart enough to know what's happening in the reality, of course, not learning or not having information or knowledge, again, the same dynamics play. So, we are growing for the good or for the bad. Times are changing for good or for bad. But to expect something to be consistent over a period of time, blindly, and sealing it now, in the present, about the future, is something we wrap around and call it trust. Now, when I define it in this way, you know that we change. You know you have challenges in life. You know trust will be broken. There is no two ways about it. There is nothing which is not broken. Everything breaks. So trust will be broken. So it says in the realm of positivity or in goodness that I trust you, I trust this, I trust that. Fine. If you're not conscious, if you're not living in the now, if you're not understanding what's happening around you, and if you're not engaging with the people you're close to or the people you would like to engage or you share your life with, but just let them be who they are and understand them the way they are, would help you build a stronger relationship which has no trust in it. Trust has no place. Consistency has. Efficiency has. Because to be consistent and efficient, we have to grow. We have to know better. Because as we grow in life, there is a word which we use a lot, which is called maturity, which comes in, wherein we accept certain good and bad things. In the same sphere, with the same person, in the same situations. That's a good thing. Because life is all about challenges and we are all about learning. So when these two keep juggling between each other, but you need to keep the ball in play. That is life. So there's nothing hard, nothing can be crossed on rock and said this is how the life should be and this is what I expect out of it and this is how it should be, or this is what I expect from you and this is how you should be. And this is what I expected of the situation, it should have been like that. So when you start placing your beliefs, an advanced state of beliefs, and when you accept it to this level, you surrendered. So if these things break, you break. So you just turned yourself from something which has to be very flexible to move towards life. As you learn, you wave a bit. With new challenges and new contradictions, you learn a bit. So you are in this fantastic journey of flexibility wherein you are acquiring more and more, wherein you thought certain things were wrong yesterday turned out to be good today, and the things which turned out to be good today again are going to be something else tomorrow. Because as times change, things change, prospects change, circumstances change, life changes. You change. So what does trust got to do anything? Trust is a very lazy attitude. It's a very lazy expression of a person who has not invested in a situation or a person. I trust you to be good, hence I did this. I trust the situation is going to be favorable to me, hence I did that. So what went wrong between you and that situation was trust. Trust is simply a lazy way of saying, I am not going to invest in a person, in a situation. Because if you keep investing in the people, if you keep investing in the things which are important to you, you will learn more about them. You will learn better things about the situation too. And that will help you mold over a period of time. And they mold according to your understanding. And your understanding of them also changes. So it's a beautiful flow of energy which you are partnering with each other and going ahead. So who are the two partners? The person you want to deal with, because that's how experience comes to people, and the situation is basically comes about reality. So there is no such thing as trust. And whenever you use it, you're only using it to demean something else, not you. You're trying to put a blame on somebody else, on some other situation. Or if you're using trust a lot, that means you're lazy not to learn, you're lazy not to understand, and you're just letting things fall apart, and there's everything else to be blamed but you. So know this. At least I don't believe in trust. I believe in consistency. I believe in learning. I believe in improving. And when these things are in place, what is it that you're going to hold in future against something or some situation or someone? You will not hold anything because you're learning, you're being conscious, you know the changes which are coming by. It is a guarantee trust is used as a guarantee, as a warranty, which it is not. Whenever you waive a guarantee or a warranty, when it comes to people or situation, you are a fool. You know both of these things change because you change yourself. Your situations change, you change. Even if they don't change, you would have changed. Your perspective towards them would have changed. And hence the situation has changed. So know this. No trust. Consistency maybe. No trust. If you believe in trust, believe this too. It will be broken. We are not angels. It will be broken. That's how it is. That's how I see it. And now, let's get to the crowning jewel of them all, which is faith. Faith is the crowning jewel of all these three aspects. If belief wasn't bad enough, when we got into trust and see how potent it could get, imagine the advanced state of trust is faith. It's a complete unconditional surrender. It is not even acceptance, it is surrender. So when you say, I have faith in something, all you're saying is, this is it. It is a very strong emotional state which has the potential to create or destroy. Faith is the ultimate aspect of commitment. It goes beyond commitment, goes beyond acceptance. It's just it. It's faith. And faith only exists in binary state. There is faith or no faith. It's like black or white, right and wrong. So, but the definition of its own word, it has a relevance which transcends words. In fact, all these three, belief, trust, and faith, the crowning jewel of these three aspects of life, transcends words, gets into emotional states, goes into the boundaries of feelings, and it has a sense of huge sentiments which are beyond human understanding to some extent. Hence, you will find these words largely in the realm of religions, cults, and cultures. And faith is an absolute surrender. There is no iota of doubt, or there is no iota of space wherein you can even think of going sideways in it. So it has tremendous ramifications when it goes wrong. And it definitely has some good stuff, very good stuff going for it when it is going right. But like I said, in life, nothing is constant. Everything keeps changing. So there are times when your faith in something adds a lot of value. But you can't stay in the state of faith forever or for good. Faith is unnatural. If you know anything about nature, if you see anything which happens around us, as in an environment, as in people, there is nothing constant. We strive, we thrive. We don't surrender. We do accept few things, but then we bounce back. We do surrender sometimes, we get up. But there is no such state in nature itself which commands you to surrender for good. And that's the reason why these words are very close to us. And when they're so close, anything which is very close to us has the potential of causing us the greatest harm. My intention of expressing these three words, or these three aspects, or these three sense of feelings, which sometimes or most of the times transcend sentences, phrases, and even any vocabulary which can capture the essence of these words, is to express my resistance in going in and using these words as a vocabulary, or using this vocabulary as feelings, and then using those feelings to be part of our life for good. They can easily be replaced with belief, can be replaced with understanding. Easy, right? Trust, consistency. If you know something which is consistent, you clearly know that it's worth its time, its money, or its effort in future, and so you can plan and then monitor it closely, and you know what's happening, and you still can get the results you desire, be it in relation, in business, in partnerships, or whatever. Faith is an absolute surrender. Be as it may, for a larger understanding of human life, for a larger understanding of the Creator, which is also important for us, because end of it all, we look up to something. Even be it nature. We look up to nature for everything. Every creation we have achieved so far, everything in science and advancement, in our lives, in our livelihoods, in our experiences, is all coming from nature. So, a belief in God could mean many things to many people, which is understandable. A trust also is understandable. But largely when we use these words in our daily life, we use it between people and circumstances. We have no qualms about it when we use it in a mystical world, or in a world which is more so transcendence beyond our own human capacities, like religion. So as long as it is with you, it is connected within you, and is not enforced on others. But if it influences someone, fine. But if it is not enforced on others, these things have to stay within you. You cannot take these words and park it on somebody else's forehead, or on brand a situation, and then try to make sense of the situation, because the only thing you're going to get back once you brand these things with these words of belief, trust, and faith is just the opposite of what you expected. Disbelief. There's a word called distrust, I don't know. Faith. No faith. Just imagine when these things go wrong, that your belief takes a beating. What happens to you? Trust takes a beating. It is a non-existent word. I don't know why we use it anyways. When that, basically an expectation going wrong in all of this. And the crowning jewel, the faith, here there is no expectation. There is complete surrender. Here you give up. Whatever happens, happens. And everything is justified in that realm of faith. Everything is justified. If you're having, let's say, since it's used largely in the realm of religion, if somebody endures pain, somebody has faith that you would come out of it, yes. Yes, that's one thing. And there is another faith which I've heard people say that you get to so much pain because there is belief that you can handle that kind of pain and still survive through it or thrive through it. That's another way of looking at it. I'm not going on religion here, I'm just trying to give a sense of how faith is ultimately going to be the winner, not you. Here, the entire vlogs are focused on you making you stronger, making you sensible, getting the freedom to understand the goodness of life, feel the experiences which are your rights, because you're born into a nature which has nothing but experiences to offer. But getting shackled in words like this and then manifesting this with fear and anger, no wonder we are such a disaster. We are done deal. Most of us are today. How often do you hear the word anxiety, depression, sorrow, grief, pain, agony? More often than not. Why? We are a conscious soul or a conscious people. We are supposed to make choices. We have the ability to make choices. What happened? We are not forced into situations. We are not forced into practices. We choose to. Why? Lack of consciousness, lack of awareness, lack of understanding. Have we forgotten we are the most conscious creatures out there? And the only thing we don't seem to be using is consciousness and awareness. So my understanding on the entire set of negativity of life is triggered by fear, accelerated by anger, and then compounded by belief, trust, and faith, completely misplaced. Because none of these should be given the importance that we give. They don't deserve it, because these are all superlative words which cause more pain, because they have an end game. Belief has an end game, trust has an end game, faith has an end game. And you and I, or a human being who is conscious, knows there is no end game to life. It's a continuous process of trial and error. It's a continuous process of learning. It's a process wherein we many times learn new things or unlearn bad things for our own good or bad, for our own experiences of joy and sorrow. So I urge you to look at these aspects of your life and be more malleable, more understanding, more flexible, more reasonable, end of it all, logical. You don't have to base everything in science. You don't have to base everything in process and systems. You can have the freedom of enjoying few things even without understanding. But to give in to them, now that's a crime. To give in to them, that's a defeat. To buy into them and surrender, you're just killing yourself. You're asking for more pain. You're requesting for it. Being conscious human beings, I would like to sum it up in one way. We have the ability to create meaning out of life. We don't have to look for one. I am Raj Khan. Thank you for listening to me today.